Good afternoon, everybody. How's it going? Good to see you. Thank you. I'm glad you're doing well, Tom. I'm doing well also. I heard you speak out of all the voices in the crowd. But it's great to have everybody here today. You know, this is the ninth annual MAS CSP Symposium. So we're really grateful to be here, and we're grateful to be in this amazing venue for the fifth consecutive year, and grateful for the IT and audio visual team that makes this possible. And you know, we all went through a pandemic, and we took connectivity in terms of Zoom and being able to see our loved ones who were far away. We kind of, you know, it was great that we had that, but we kind of took the people who made that possible for granted and worked really hard. There's a lot of technical, difficult work behind making conferences like this possible. So just thank you to the IT and audiovisual people here from Qualcomm Institute who are bringing this to us, because it's hard work, and they did a lot for us that we kind of, not all of us, but maybe me, took for granted during the pandemic, that helped me stay connected with issues and with people. So thank you, and appreciate that, and I appreciate all of you who are here, and I appreciate all of our alumni who are likely either with us in person. I see some are joining us on the live stream right now. We have alumni all over the world right now doing a number of really, really remarkable things. Journalism that's really transformative journalism in Southeast Asia. People helping catalyze some really transformative energy policy here in California, investigative reporting here in San Diego, students working in Europe, students in PhD programs in disciplines that they became aware of as a result of this program. So from the consulting world to the federal government, to local government, state government, big international corporations making really important stuff. We have alumni doing important things, all of those places. And the 12 folks who are going to present today are going to join a really, really impressive group, and a group that gives me immense hope when sometimes I feel like I need it. There's not much that one individual can do, or there's nothing one individual can really do, absent extraordinary exigent circumstances, to save the world. But I've had the distinct pleasure of, over the last 7 years, having over 100 graduate students. And in addition to this, the climate change studies minor at this university that I developed with Jane Taranis, I've had over 100 students graduate from that class as well. And the number of students who enter that undergraduate class not thinking they're gonna end up in climate and then end up in this program, like Connor King sitting right here this year, about to graduate from the program, or Nick last year, or the number of students in this program who have transferred from fields as disparate as, in past years, neuroscience and engineering. This year, people who have had extraordinary interests in things that ultimately converge on climate change. But what we do here is we bring students, we bring people, and in this group, we've had a group that has developed real deep chemistry and deep connections with each other. I've seen an incredible amount of supportive behavior, of cooperative behavior, and a lack of destructive competition. I've seen kindness and patience, and I have, over the course of this year, seen, as I have with past cohorts, just seen extraordinary character, and used the quality of the character that I see in front of me every day to kind of refine and feedback who I am and how I communicate with the world and how I present myself to the world. So I get as much or more from you than you get from me every year. So I'm so grateful to you. And I'm also absolutely positive that short-term and long-term, you all are going to make a massive, massive impact. And you know what? You have to. You know why? We set these goals to drastically reduce the amount of carbon we emit, but we drive cars, we use heat. Some of us live in old houses. We like to travel by airplane. We like to spend a lot of money on artists, music artists who fly on private jets a lot. I think we had 1,000 private planes trying to take off at once immediately after the Super Bowl. Something way more exciting is going on somewhere else, so I don't know. But I think in Las Vegas, in the evening after the Super Bowl, on the order of 1,000 private jets trying to take off. Like, why do you need to go to the middle of the desert in a private jet to watch a football game? Maybe if you're a massive, massive football fan, right? But among the 10,000 people in this country who are rich enough to afford that, are there 1,000 massive football fans? Probably not. So I think I'm going to propose that, I've seen it in this group, and I've seen it year after year in folks at Scripps making choices in their own lives to buy electric vehicles. And the price point is coming down considerably on that now, to the point where Mike Torty talked about 3 years in his Capstone, where as lower income people start to be able to afford EVs, the infrastructure now isn't there in some places, right? So the public has become more supportive of climate policy. The public has become more supportive of doing stuff to support pro-climate, pro-environment policies. But we, as a society, it's in terms of the people that looking up to is the right word, but the catalysts, the people who drive millions and millions of dollars of fortune and commerce and ask us, for example, like I'm a big sports fan, as all or some of you may know, right? I have never, it's been a long time since I've traveled a long way to go see a sporting event, but I have found local alternatives, right? So as a society, there are opportunities for us to go to, for example, go to a local theater show that's going to make us think and make us connect with our community, instead of flying to, say, St. Louis to see Taylor Swift, or flying to Miami to see the Black Keys, or me flying to New York to watch the Yankees beat the crap out of the Red Sox. Finding ways to say we're going to have a society where the folks that we're going to give our hard-earned money to had damn well better be good climate citizens. So I think the grassroots pressure, not directed at individuals, but at institutions and people who can reduce their carbon footprints at a large enough scale to make it cool and to make it necessary, right? Kind of along the mold of the ESG, environmental and social governance angle, where corporations should invest in this and not this, and a portfolio manager should invest in this and not this. We should choose to entertain ourselves and to recreate and to look up to individuals who are thought leaders in these spaces, look up to artists who are going to be like, hey, I'm just going to tour in this little part of the country and I'm going to leave money on the table to be a local celebrity, right? And there's not a massive, massive amount, grassroots, bottom up, that we can do. Yes, we're living in a world where 15% of the S&P 500, in theory, market capitalization in 3 or 4 years could be one company, NVIDIA, that makes GPU processors that power AI, that uses a lot of power, that is, according to some, going to power a fourth industrial revolution. All of that expansion and desire to improve the human condition has a massive, massive, massive carbon footprint. And while we can't, change the way countries relate, and we can't change the trajectory of a large-scale economy, in terms of what we look up to and in terms of who we're willing to give our money to, and in terms of how we're going to think about our celebrities and our thought leaders, what they do in terms of climate and conservation and social justice and kindness should matter. And with social media and all of those things that are usually an avenue for good, for bad, unfortunately, those things can provide a collective voice where we can push the people who have power to emit less and be kinder, right? It's not a massive revelation that we can and should do this, but that's what I've learned from this group, is that human beings can be extraordinarily kind and supportive of each other. And on a very large scale, our society is quite broken. And little piece by piece, with compassion and love and community, building that up is just as necessary as NVIDIA's chips or getting the price of an electrolyzer down forever for green hydrogen to whatever it needs to be, or all those metrics. So in addition to all of the hard economic or technological stuff, the stuff I just talked about from my heart that I've learned this year, it matters too. And I'm just really grateful to be in a room with so many people who care so much about that.